Well, if you're a fan of 8-bit graphics and GTA-style open-world violence, then Retro City Rampage may have caught your attention. This game's been around for a little bit, but it came to the Xbox Live Arcade more recently, so I decided to take it for a spin and see if this was old-fashioned fun or an old-fashioned fail. Let's take a look. Retro City Rampage has the player taking control of a character named, well, Player in this giant-sized 8-bit adventure. Player starts out as just a lowly henchman in the city of Theftopolis, but quickly strikes out on his own in an attempt to cause some serious havoc. I gotta say, I'm definitely digging the style of this game. As someone who owned an original Nintendo, I can appreciate the old school aesthetic. Retro City Rampage lets you know what kind of game it's going to be right off the bat as the Ninja Turtles pop out of a sewer and start chasing the player around town. Well, they couldn't actually use any trademark characters, and there's a disclaimer at the beginning saying that any similarities are purely coincidence, so I guess that these were Schminja Schmirtles or something like that. But it was still pretty awesome. The game is chock full of pop culture and video game references. You'll find everything from Saved by the Bell to Metal Gear Solid satirized in this game. One minute you'll be sneaking around in a cardboard box, and the next minute you'll be time traveling in Bill and Ted's phone booth. And I'm sure there were also a bunch of references that I just missed completely. Let's move on to gameplay. Retro City Rampage is kind of a mixed bag in this area. Driving works perfectly and splattering pedestrians all over the road is easy and encouraged. It's even more fun when you get to cruise around town on a giant gorilla. However, because the game tackles so many genres, there are certain sections of the game that are just annoying, like trying to figure out whether your 8-bit sprite is in cover or not. Yes, this game has a cover system. There are a bunch of different melee weapons, but they all operate on the same swing and then dodge mechanics, so it really doesn't matter which one you're using. The guns allow you to mix things up, and the player can use anything from rocket launchers to machine guns in these pixelated firefights, and you can always leap on people's heads to deal some extra damage if you run out of bullets. However, some of the missions get extremely repetitive and involve you going from floor to floor of a building and beating up people in rooms. At least change the layout of a room a little bit if you're going to do this nonsense. Character design is actually extremely varied for an 8-bit game. This little mariachi guy was my personal favorite, and these sprites add a ton of personality to the 8-bit world. You can also customize your own character's hair at one of the shops around town. I'm not quite sure what this look is, but I'm rocking it pretty hard. And you can customize your ride as well, which means you can put a cannon on just about anything. I like putting it on this Yoshi scooter. It really makes the morning commute more fun. The plot of the game is basically a vehicle to deliver as many pop culture references as possible and take stabs at large video game developers. You're not going to get emotionally attached to any of the characters, and you may get a few chuckles out of the writing, but for the most part, the game is more about causing chaos than a well-written plot and snappy dialogue. The world is huge and worth exploring. There's lots of challenges and side missions scattered around the city, and a good number of main story missions too. There's even an arcade where you can go to play other old school feeling games, and I think they have a Super Meat Boy spin-off developed by Team Meat, which is pretty impressive. The game also has a feature which allows you to save replays, which is a nice touch. Personally, I think a multiplayer mode in this game would have been extremely fun, but no such luck. Oh well, maybe in the sequel. So to sum it all up, Retro City Rampage is pretty good for what it is, which is an 8-bit style GTA romp through the city of Theftopolis. There's still plenty of room for improvement in this game's writing and overall gameplay, but if you're looking for a nostalgic trip down memory lane, then I'd consider picking this game up. I give Retro City Rampage 7.5 Schminja Schmirtles out of 10. Thanks for watching, and be sure to leave your opinions in the comments below, and we'll catch you next time.